The swelling as much is the redness and the fact that the area looks a bit inflamed for too long. So the long recovery period is a pain in the backside. So all you have to do is make sure you don't do high intensity treatments. So basically we have driven this device. Okay, long-term healing. And this is just to make sure that I think this is quite an important presentation because it's part of how not to perform eyelid tightening and what's the worst that can happen if you don't do it particularly well. No, this is only during the healing progression. She's not dead. She's okay. Okay? It's just I know, it's only a scab, okay? It's only a scab. And this is the result of the healing progression after a high intensity treatment. The scab is quite hard and this is not the main problem. The problem is, see whether I can actually show you quite well. It's not even the swelling as much, it's the redness and the fact that the area looks a bit inflamed for too long. So the long recovery period is a pain in the backside. So all you have to do is make sure you don't do high intensity treatments. So basically we have driven this device, the Beauty Tech, as far as we can possibly drive it, on myself especially, so we can show you exactly what can go wrong in the very worst case scenario. So very little can go wrong. You don't go blind, as they actually try to claim that with our device you go blind. Nobody's ever going blind and it's not going to happen. But the very worst that we've seen it happening, if you really do it wrong, if you really try hard and all that, is the excessive redness and the inflammation that lasts for a long time, temporary skin laxity. And then what we found, by the way, in the temporary skin laxity is that we realized at that point, hang on a second, the skin really changes over a long period of time, and it really does. It really does change over. Even if you do medium intensity treatments, it does change over the course of months, but then after a third month, it doesn't change as much. And this is why we're saying, oh yes, and this is again the, a spot removal, what would you call it, a mole removal. We class as a long-term healing. The reason is because this was, I think, it wasn't a few days after, I think it was 14 days or 20 days after, still after mole removal was a sign of something been there, but then after a few, I think after 2 months, that was completely invisible. So basically the area is healed, but you can still see something. This is why we placed that picture as an example of long-term healing, is that although there's no scab, everything is fine, the areas, the skin has got to regenerate and blend with the surrounding skin, and after 2 months, if I remember well, the case study is online. You can see everything in detail, as well as how this has been performed, the procedure. By the way, this is why we very much like filming everything, because we find that it's much better to have the evidence so you can actually see it yourself how it's been done. So that's, again, it's just to show you, oh, this is, I don't know why we put it there. I think this is an after picture of after I removed I think it was a sty. I don't think it was a sty. It was a benign growth on my right eye here. And as soon as I got that thing, I thought, I've got to keep it and I'm going to remove it with the device to do some marketing there. And this is what was left, a small white spot. It took a while to remove it. Yes.
You know what camera's gone in the front?
Yeah, what was it? What's gone? What happened? Oh, thank you.
You know what tea bread? You know what I have found? Then
No, if you're sleeping, no, just a second, let me finish this.
Okay, finish this quickly.
What I have found with sometimes doing eyeliners, the clients have got little moles just where they want to do the eyeliner. And I just say to them, you know what, let me take a little mole off. It's good time to heal when you come and have your eyeliners done. And I just quickly place with those little moles sitting there or sitting here. You know, in the lash line, there were these
Can you
little moles.
actually do it over hair or won't you destroy the hair?
No, no, so I just quickly remove it and it sort of lets heal and then you come and have your eyeliners done. There's a lot of clients that have little moles in the lash line. Yeah. And I also use, when I'm doing permanent makeup, I'm always aware of my clients' moles. You know, and I say, oh my goodness, dog, you like this mole sitting on your nose? Yeah, no. So, come out and take it off. Can you take it off? Of course I can. Well, when can you take it off? You can take it off now. Oh, how much is that going to cost me? Keep quiet, I'll just do it for you quickly. And it's like, wow, what else do you do? Then I saw an order out plasma. And then they say, oh my goodness. So, it's almost like an entry level. Let me quickly take this mole off for you right now. So while I'm doing the eyeliners, I'm going to use the
Okay, with me.
Yeah.
So, oh yes, the shocking picture. Oh yeah, it's the same lady, just I think 2 days after the treatment. So it's a bit of swelling, 2 or 3 days, still a bit of swelling, and the scab was a bit more prominent. And what I wanted to show you here is just that redness is very, very red. That's what I wanted to show you. And that, we don't know exactly how long it lasted, but it's just because I remember the way we have performed the treatment, this is to be completely avoided again, only because of the redness that you get after. Please bear in mind, 2 days later, the scabs are not there, okay?
Can I ask something?
Yes?
Maybe Nora can also answer. If you have that on your eyes, can you use ice pack and silver core?
Ah.
Ice pack and silver core. But they do this right now.
I just treated that. I just treated that really nice. There's nothing to worry about. We overreact sometimes. The client wants to run off to the doctors and all sorts of things. Just give it another day or two and it's fine. Put an ice pack on maybe. But it's nothing. It's down.
So that's another example, again, of high intensity treatment. I think we're talking about, I can't remember exactly, a couple of weeks later in some minor laxity. And the laxity was coupled with the redness and the feeling of discomfort. So remember to avoid the high intensity treatment. So what we've got, if you do a high intensity treatment, you're going to have itchiness that is very, 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 very bothersome, especially during when you've got the scabs on. When the scabs are off, you're going to feel that the area is a bit tender. You're going to have feeling of dryness and a stinging effect, a stinging sensation as well. But if the medium and low intensity treatments, you may feel something of the sort, but it's going to be much, much less. So avoid high intensity treatments as much as possible. If you want to know what they are, just you can go onto that web page and you watch the videos where we actually show you exactly what they're like. That's me. After, oh, do you remember when you said, oh, it's disgusting? I think this, if I remember well, this is exactly when we've got the scabs off. So the area is a bit red, but then after I think 2 weeks, if I remember well, I couldn't really tell I had anything done. I just forgot about it. And that was really it. Very happy at that point. The one that didn't make me happy was the third treatment. It did not make me happy at all. Because see whether it's the picture there. See whether. This is the area getting better as well. So I'll look if I can show you. No, and this is after. This is demonstrating the long-term healing. This is November 2016, before I went for my third eyelid tightening. You can see the difference. The eyelid has changed. There hasn't been any further treatment since then, yet over the months has tightened, I would say quite significantly. I could feel it. But then, see whether I can actually feel. Oh, this is after the third treatment, I think 6 weeks after the third treatment. So I went from this to this. Very big improvement, isn't it? I mean, it was much, much worse. So what the heck?
Sorry, Andreas. So then,
Yeah.
what I'm understanding is that you have your plasma done, and it looks better as the months go by.
Yes, it does.
Because
Basically,
I noticed that with my frown line. I had my frown line only done once. It was a lot deeper. And I'm noticing as time's going by, it's looking better and better.
oh yes. Basically, the skin tightening goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on for much longer than you think. And we found that is the case from this picture and other pictures that I've taken of myself as the evidence. Is to say, a few months after, I found this is, again, just to show you, what the heck, so my language, what is it? Okay. See whether I can go back in the right, but no. This one already watched. This one. This one. This one already watched. Don't know why it went so much further. It takes a while to respond. Come on. Okay, that's the... Okay. So this is immediately after the scabs fell off. Better a few days after that, if I remember well. Over a year after. Over a year after. And there's no... And then that was consistent over a number of pictures that we've taken. Because every time we take before pictures, we make sure that we take plenty, so we've got plenty of them. So the improvement still occurs after a number of months, which is actually better than there. And then, yeah, and then this is what I had 6 weeks after the third treatment, and it got better and better and better over the months. So again, getting better slightly a few months after, and so on, and getting better and better and better and better and better. Nice nose, isn't it? Why are you laughing? What's this funny? It's a nice nose. Please.
I just want to clarify about skin laxity which can occur after high intensity treatment.
Yeah.
Will it improve after the stage kind of laxity first drops down and then it's improving, or how it's actually going?
Yes.
Done worse.
You get really worse.
Yeah.
You get really worse for a few months. So, I made this graph when I was having one of my sleepless nights like that last night. I was in China, by the way. I couldn't sleep. I said, what the heck, I've got to make a graph here. So let's have a look. Yes, that's what happens. Okay, and the red is the high intensity treatment. And you can find this picture, this very nice, well-drawn graph on the website. We're hired nice people, so they can do a better job than me. So when you have a high intensity treatment, what you'll find is, we have not measured it. It's roughly, what we've seen roughly from the pictures, my personal experience and people saying, and the pictures that we got roughly, it's kind of difficult to measure the tightening. Just visually, what you get visually from the pictures. And from the way you feel as well. High intensity treatment, you've got here is you feeling really bad. I mean, you've got swelling, you can't open your eyes. Then your scabs are off, and then, oh God, great tightening. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, great. Oh, great. Oh, but it's itchy. Oh, no. Look at what the heck is going on. It's worse. It's worse. And after a few, it's getting better. I'm okay. All right, okay, still okay. Okay. Seriously, what are you laughing at? I had it done. It was me. And I'm making the freaking thing. I'm actually making my livelihood out of this. Do you think it's fun? I was looking at my eyes that way. What the heck am I selling? Okay. Now, instead, why is better to go for medium and low intensity treatments? Low intensity treatments, you get pretty much not much results, but you can sleep tight. At least you actually done it. Medium intensity treatments, they're less dramatic at the beginning. And then the client sometimes, I don't notice anything. Nothing has happened. This is why it's very important. You do take plenty of before pictures. Do like a maniac. Use a very good quality camera. Invest in it, because then you'll find that it's very consistent. If you do a medium intensity treatment, the results are quite good, but are not immediate. And they go better and better, slightly better over time, but it's not as dramatic, but you don't get this. This is why when we realize, hang on a second, what's going on here? The first thing that we've done is made that video. I remember it really well. I've done this treatment, that was in 2016, November 2016. Had this effect. I was in China and I had my sleepless nights again. And I said, no, we've got to really let the world know. And then we made this particular 2 web pages, one explaining the way that the skin recovers. I've dedicated my own time to do it. And also, like, we've got to really explain what can go wrong if you just do it wrong, and what it means to do it wrong. As you say, do high intensity treatments. And then we made these 3 videos, just go watch them online. I don't think we've done the online tests on it, but we're going to do them. But it's very, very important. That's a very, very important concept that no one explains, because everyone wants to tell you that everything is fine and great. And we try to give you as much reference experience that no one else is giving you. So at least you can avoid these mistakes. I'm not blowing my trumpet, but I am. Everyone who's got our devices, who's got a considerable amount of people now, they don't make mistakes. Especially this type of mistakes, they don't come back with a huge monstrosity. Only in a case of one person not being trained, and was one of our distributors. But we've got presentations showing that later on. So conclusions: avoid all high intensity treatments. That's the main conclusion. If you want to know what they are, you can actually watch the examples of me being tortured with it again as well, and other people as well with it. So yes, so there's medium intensity treatment. We've done this table that you'll find online as well, because we said, okay, we've really got to have some reference in there. So medium intensity treatment, you're really okay. The 4th week after the treatment, basically, nothing. That's fine. The high intensity treatment is a pain in the backside. Minor redness and all that. There is everything. You forget it. And we got also, it's not as if we are the only one saying it, but it's not as if we are the only one experiencing these things. The Plexer guys, we got many people coming, hang on a second, I had this Plexer treatment and I was red for so long, it was amazing. I wasn't happy at all with it. You do it with a very expensive device, it doesn't change anything. If you do the treatment wrong, it's a high intensity treatment in this case, using a spot operation, you're getting the same results. So it's there, and the only thing is we publish what we do. But we had the same thing, the same feedback that we had from treatment done by other people using other devices. Any questions? Please, a little question. I'm tired of talking. Oh, thanks.
Is it a question or statement? That's a question.
Okay.
No. You know, interesting enough, when I did my moles here myself, I did them too shallow. There was 3, okay? And then I did them again 5 weeks later, so then I went a little bit deeper. And the picture that you showed earlier saying when it starts healing, you can see there's like something's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really like when we are trained with the 1, 2, 3 tattoo free, we can clearly,
Speak slowly.
we can clearly see the difference between normal and infection. But interesting enough, there's 2, and I'm going to ask you a question, promise this time. I could see the 2 moles were actually scabbing up more, and they were like thick but watery. So it didn't look normal, so I used salt water. Now, to dry them out and continue with my silver core. I know you were talking about Dettol, so what would your opinion be if, in a case like that? You know, like the little bit of the redness, and it's thick and it's like watery. It's like a mole that didn't want to dry out. Everything else was healing up, and it was only those 2 moles that were like a bit angry with me. But it worked well with the salt water. But what's your opinion on that? Would Dettol also help dry it out?
Normally what you find in moles, I can't really relate myself really well with what you're describing, because what we find with moles is that within 3 days you should form a scab, completely dry, and you're just waiting for the scab to come off. This is...
I had a few moles taken off my back in Joburg. You can have a look where they're sitting at now. I used to took a few off my back.
Oh, just now, last week.
Yeah.
That
Alright.
mine took very long to heal,
Can I have a
but
look
mine
at
is back now again.
It's possible that maybe it didn't heal well.
These 2.
I can't see. I mean,
You'll see tomorrow.
I'll see tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So I suspect
But would
that it didn't
Dettol
sell.
also help calm it down a little bit? If you see a little bit of redness.
If you see redness and it hasn't scabbed, very likely you're not healing well. There's an infection. Aftercare wasn't. Maybe put some products in there that maybe. And just what? Silver core. Silver core. Is that what? Sorry. Oh, okay. No, I don't. You do it on? Oh, okay. So, but you should see a scab going in there. A scab within 3 days. If it's not something.
I think it's because I went a lot deeper than I did the first time. Because this one was very
Okay.
tough, and it was actually after numbing for a long period of time. We still actually had a lot of loss in it.
Yeah. Can
far beyond what I have to do and fix it for you.
Oh, thank you. No, that's fine. No, I want this. Yes.
You should see what happened to them, and they're all
Just one question. You explained working at a low level, and I understand that completely. That is the right way. But looking at the difference that you've explained, the low level and the medium level, don't the client get a better result with the medium level than the low level? Because now he pays 6,000 rand or 3,000 rand per upper eyelid, and you're working on a low level.
Medium level.
He feels he's getting more value for his money because he can see the results is better.
Medium level is better, yes, than a lower level.
Use low level on there.
Why we
At the
can't-
beginning, only at the beginning to get
Just
practice.
as a practice.
Just practice at the beginning. The first time around, so you say, because you're scared, so you do low level. So we teach you how to do low level, so you, it's like
Now
that's
I
it, yeah.
understand.
So taking a break, yeah?